What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video on Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one we got some injury updates on Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Will Johnson, how their recoveries are doing. We're also going to be talking about what Jesse Minter has to say about the defense and where they stand in the spring right now. And then we're also going to be talking about some transfer portal needs for Michigan. And we're going to close the video by talking about some Ohio State and Michigan recruits taking shots at each other over Twitter. It's all going to be in this video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to start with this video is talking about some injury updates on Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Will Johnson, and others. So we got some good news according to On3 and the Wolverine. Michigan senior running back Blake Corum is ahead of schedule and feeling great as he is going to start running again. He's been rehabbing after he tore his meniscus last season, but he is ahead of schedule and he will begin starting to run again, which is huge. Corum is actually supposed to skip the team trip to New York, DC, and other places, and instead he's going to work out and train more. Just goes to show how dedicated he really is. So I'm sure he'll take it slow as he starts running again, but he is supposed to be full go this summer. People do say, though, he is progressing as well as anyone could have hoped. So that's huge news for Michigan on Blake Corum. And as far as Donovan Edwards goes, he's also been recovering from his hand injury, but he is also feeling great and ahead of schedule. So both Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, their injury recoveries are doing well. Can't wait to see that duo next season for the 2023 season. Going to be very, very awesome to see both of them. And obviously the main thing is just to keep them both healthy next season. Split the reps as much as possible. As far as cornerback Will Johnson, he was actually seen in crutches this spring, but he's supposed to be back as well and supposed to be better than ever. And he was awesome last season as a freshman. But I guess they're saying that, picture that, but also with another gear to it. So that is huge news to hear. His recovery is going well, and he should be back soon as well. So those are the latest injury updates. Drake Nugent, he's another player that's been out with an injury. He's obviously the Stanford offensive lineman transfer, the center, and so he has been recovering from an injury, but he'll be right there in the mix with Raheem Anderson and Greg Crippen for the center position. And another guy I want to mention is Ladarius Henderson, the Arizona State transfer offensive lineman. He's been finishing some classes remotely and he's getting it done. Many close to him says that he's an unbelievable guy, and they say that he's already made big improvements in the weight room and he loves to work with Ben Herbert. And according to On3 and the Wolverine, they believe that he will be Michigan's starting left tackle. He's obviously a big guy, and many believe he could have the Oluwatimi type effect that he had last season for Michigan's offensive line. And then the next thing I want to talk about is Michigan's defense and what Jesse Minter is saying. Minter told the In the Trenches podcast with John Jensen recently that I see 5 really, really capable players on the defensive line. For that matter, he said it's hard not to start with senior Chris Jenkins. He's a monster. He says that he gets bigger and bigger every time I see him, and he just praised his work ethic. He said his consistency, his physicality. He said, I think we'll see him make even more plays this year, and he also said that I think we'll see him get more opportunities as a pass rusher this season. And he obviously talked about Mason Graham as well, praised him. Everybody knows how that he's going to have another great season, but he also talked about junior Rashawn Benny. He said that he's a guy that's maybe the most improved in the last year. He obviously had a great game against Ohio State. He got pressure on CJ Stroud sometimes in that game. He also said that I think Kenneth Grant is going to be a name everybody's going to know about. He said he's a monster in the middle and has a chance to be really, really dominant type of player here. And also he talked about that he's really excited about Cam Goody and proud of the improvements he's made since the end of the season. He's obviously the UCF transfer defensive lineman that came in from last season. So we may be seeing more time for him this season. But all in all, Michigan's defensive line could be the best in the past years here. And Jesse Minter also talked about Derek Moore. He's going to be a sophomore this season, but he showed a lot of signs last season as a freshman. Minter also said that he has a chance to be a high-end draft choice one day, a high-end player. And he said the best part about Derek is he has the mindset to be really high-end, dominant player, and also the skill set and physical tools match up with that long arm, he says. He also said that when that motor becomes like Chase Winovich and Aiden Hutchinson, and then he learns a counter move or two, I think he's going to be close to unblockable. There's no doubt that Derek Moore definitely going to be a great edge rusher on the defensive line for Michigan. Just got to keep putting in that work. Can't wait to see him as a sophomore next season. And last thing I'll speak on of what Jesse Minter said on In the Trenches podcast with John Jansen. He said that talking about the other corner and the defensive backs, he said there are a lot of chess pieces on this defense right now and different guys that can be successful doing different things. He said, I think we have the pieces and the complementary pieces to be able to do that. And speaking about Maurice Walker, obviously he's in the mix there to be that other cornerback. He said you need those growable, learnable moments. Maurice had that experience in the spring game. He said it will probably happen again, and when the real live bullets start flying, he said, I'm confident that as we go, as we progress, he'll be capable of doing the things we need him to do. He did look a little shaky in the spring game, but people do have to realize he is a true sophomore. He was recruited as a wide receiver, just moved to the cornerback position, so he's just learning that position. He's got the whole offseason still to work at it, and also some tune-up games, but he's definitely got the skill set. He's got the length, the athleticism to be a good cornerback, so I just got to keep working and keep getting experience. And now that the transfer portal is open, I want to talk about some transfer portal needs for Michigan. The first one Michigan may be looking to get is a place kicker. We do have junior Tommy Doman and freshman Adam Samaha, who both could be our place kickers. However, Tommy Doman is more of a punter than a kicker, people say, and he will be our punter. But then we also have Adam Samaha, who is only a freshman who can kick some deep field goals. He obviously had success, but he is a freshman, he is young, so it's just going to be, can he handle the pressure as a freshman this season? If not, we may see Michigan pick up a kicker in the transfer portal. And obviously, another thing Michigan could need in the transfer portal is another cornerback. We have a Maurice Walker who just switched over. Michigan was targeting cornerbacks in the transfer portal before it closed. It's now reopened, but we just couldn't close with anybody, and nobody decided they wanted to come here to Michigan. So maybe seeing Harbaugh going out in the portal and landing a cornerback this cycle. But there's also other players like junior Jaden McBurrow, sophomore Miles Pollard, and freshman Jair Hill on the Michigan roster already. Just got to find that other cornerback beside Will Johnson. And then another need that Michigan could potentially get is another wide receiver. Obviously, losing Ronnie Bell to the NFL is definitely going to hurt us, but we do have Cornelius Johnson and Roman Wilson returning. We also have sophomores Darius Clemens and Tyler Morris, and also Peyton O'Leary really shined in the spring game, so we may be seeing more playing time for him this season. But let me know in the comment section down below what needs you think Michigan could use this upcoming season in the transfer portal. Then last couple things I'll talk about here is Michigan's opener with East Carolina on September 2nd could be a night game. There are rumors that that game could be a night game now, and while it's not set in stone, be prepared for it to be a night game, because apparently some signs are pointing towards a night game against East Carolina to open the season in the Big House. And then the last thing I want to talk about is some rivalry shots between Ohio State and Michigan recruits on Twitter. Some of you guys might have already seen this, but the 2024 offensive line class for both Michigan and Ohio State taking some shots on each other over Twitter. Luke Hamilton, Andrew Sprague, Ben Roebuck, and Blake Frazier, they were all responding to Ohio State offensive linemen over Twitter. And it seems like, you know, this recruiting class, especially the players from the state of Ohio, taking this rivalry very seriously already. They're not even here at Michigan, and they're already, you know, talking some smack. I personally love it because it just makes, you know, the rivalry mean so much more to players, and it's just gonna make Michigan players that much more fired up to go out there and beat Ohio State every year. Obviously, Michigan has been the back-to-back Joe Moore Award winners for the best offensive line for 2 straight years in a row, so that was pretty hard to argue against for Ohio State offensive linemen. But other than that, that is going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I'd really appreciate it. But other than that, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.